Broadcasting live from the basement of Sleeping Beauty Castle, it's Contemporary Inc. with Bill Blair, your Lorcana podcast. This is our first episode, and I'd like to fill you in on what's happening. My name is Bill, and like a lot of you probably saw some of the stuff coming out of the D23 Expo. Right now, it's the end of September 2022. One of the things that came out this year was Lorcana. It was presented as a set of 6 cards and a giveaway. It's $50 for the 6 cards, which sounds kind of steep, but bear with me. I think it was worth it for those of you that picked one up. It's a card game. It's from Disney, and people are really excited. If you're like me and you're into card games or just into Disney, you might have noticed that the card game field is kind of stagnant. You've got Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. There's not a lot of new stuff happening. So when a big player with a lot of IP like Disney puts their foot in the arena, people are getting excited. We're going to look at some of these cards today. We're going to talk about what it means, and we're going to talk about this new show that you're listening to right now. Contemporary Inc. is a podcast about a game that we know, frankly, not a lot about. We don't have rules or a release date. It's all pretty nebulous at this point, but I think a lot of people are excited, and that's what we're all about. And I want to share that excitement with you. The show is going to be built around 3 core tenets. That's playing the game, collecting the cards, and trading the cards. And I think anybody interested in Lorcana will find something interesting here. I'm a collector of card games. My connection with card games goes way back. I played Magic the Gathering back in the early days, and after a couple of years, I fell off, transitioned into other things. I recently picked up Pokemon as a fun diversion. I think we're going to see a lot of similarities here. And I have more than a few board games that I play semi-regularly. I also collect things, so I'm familiar with the buying, trading, selling of things on eBay and other marketplaces. I'm also a pretty big Disney fan. I follow a lot of YouTubers as far as the parks go, and I'm hoping to bring a lot of that knowledge to bear with these Disney characters and themes. I know it can be difficult parsing all the news and hype, all the new strategies and cards that are coming out. I want to be your friend in the Lorcana world, bringing you stuff that I like and stuff that I hope you like too. But enough about me. Let's actually take a look at some of these cards. The first one was a promo given out, and it's Mickey Mouse. It's a bold move to start with your most iconic character, but who else could lead the charge here? If you don't have one of these cards in front of you, please go online. Find one on eBay or Twitter or something like that. They're really, really nice. I'm going to try to describe it to you. So if you don't have a visual of one, perhaps I can paint that picture in your mind's eye. It's the size of a standard playing card. It's got a black border. In the upper left-hand corner is an 8 that's surrounded by like a rose pattern. In the middle of the card, it says Mickey Mouse, Brave Little Tailor. And there's a picture on there of Mickey dressed as the Brave Little Tailor. It's not a still from the 1938 short. This is brand new art that looks like it was commissioned for this piece. Mickey's wearing a jaunty little cap. He's got a scarf. The composition is really nice. He's on a wind-swept plain, and he's clutching, as a sword, a pair of oversized dress shears. He's ready for battle. On the middle right are 2 numbers with frames around them. The leftmost number, in this case a 5, is like a ball, a circle with spikes on it. I'm going to have to guess this is the attack, because to the right of that is a shield with another 5. I'm glad they went with small easy to read numbers here. I think there's been a move, especially with Yu-Gi-Oh, to make the numbers insane. 10,000, 100,000. Dragon Ball's another culprit of this. You want to keep it simple. Magic the Gathering, 1 to 10. Almost nobody's going to get past 11. I think simple numbers just look better on the card. It also makes it easier for especially younger players to calculate. There's a red bar running through the middle of the card. There's a glyph on the left that's red. I can't really make out from the image I have. These are from eBay, what I'm looking at. And on that bar it says Dreamborn and Hero. Well, Mickey certainly looks heroic here. I don't know what a Dreamborn is. Below that, in the box that's usually designated for abilities and flavor text, in bold, we have evasive. And then next to that, it says that only characters with evasive can challenge this character. That makes me think Mickey's kind of sneaky. I don't remember the exact circumstances of the 1938 short. It happened to come out a few years before I was born. I think that being evasive would come in handy. And then at the bottom, it says, when defeat looms and victory hangs by a thread, a hero bolts to the rescue, patching things up through sheer determination. Wow, they did not fail to deliver on the sewing puns here. They had one chance, and they took it. The only other thing on the card in that box is 4, I'm going to say, diamonds? Pips? On the far right-hand side. And Mickey sure got a lot of them. So they're important, whatever they're for. At the bottoms is an artist name, some jargon. Looks like this card's in English. D23 logo, a first, and some copyright stuff. So that looks pretty impressive. And again, that was given out as a promo. I think they were handing out gold bricks at D23 this year. The next one on my list was then part of a 6-pack that was sold for the low price of only $49.99 for 6 cards. And the first one we're going to look at is Captain Hook. Again, black border, but this time, instead of, I think it was an 8 with Mickey, his rose number is a 1. If that number denotes some sort of casting cost, it looks like Captain Hook is pretty easy to get out. Under Captain Hook's name, it says Fierceful Duelist, and his attack and defense is 1 and 2 respectively, which means compared to Mickey's 5/5, he's got a lot of work to do. His image is striking. You've got Captain Hook, his hat pulled down low over his eyes, grinning maniacally. He's walking through knee-deep water. Skull Rock in the background. A heavy mist covers the background. Instead of his trademark hook hand, he's swapped it out for a cutlass. This low-level Captain Hook is out to hurt somebody. This guy's a killer. His banner reads Dreamborn. Okay, same as Mickey. Villain. No surprise here. Pirate and captain. So anything that needs to do with captains, he's covered. Pirate, obviously. His ability in this case is Challenger +2. And that apparently means when challenged, this character gets +2, and then there's a symbol that looks a lot like the attack strength symbol. So we'll assume that when challenged, he gets stronger. Okay? He loves to make light of his foe's predicament. And he's only got 1 of those pips where Mickey had 4. So it looks like there's some sort of connection between the pips and the rose symbol. You know what I just noticed? He's holding a lantern, and it's not a light inside that lantern. It's a pixie. So this cutthroat Captain Hook has imprisoned a pixie in a glass vessel and is using it as a light source. That is cold-blooded. I don't know where else they're going to go with this, but I'm listening. The next one on our list is Robin Hood, and his subtitle is Unveiled Archer. Now, his rose number at the top left is 6, and that's matched with a 4/4 in attack and defense. His picture is really nice. It's everyone's favorite furry, posted up under a tree, his bow drawn, ready to attack. His banner reads Storyborn and Hero. Now, he doesn't seem to have the same sort of attack ability that the first two did. His say, Feed the Poor. When you play this character, if an opponent has more cards in their hand than you, draw a card. And Good Shot. During your turn, this character has Evasive. They can challenge characters with Evasive. So that's the same as Mickey, but it only works on your turn. Interesting. We never rob, we just sort of borrow a bit from those who can afford it, is the flavor text. Now, Robin Hood has 2 pips on the side there, but one of them is dark. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's a printing error. I don't know. Ooh, everyone's favorite, Elsa. Elsa has a rose number of 3. She's clad in a very gossamer robe. She's got a floating book in front of her that she seems to be commanding with her magic. Her name reads Elsa, Snow Queen, and she has an attack and defense of 2 and 3. She's Dreamborn, Hero, Queen, and Sorcerer. And it's weird, when I hear Sorcerer, I think of Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey from Fantasia. I wonder if they're going to get roped into the same category here. She doesn't have a regular power. She has one like Robin Hood. It's called Freeze. And then there's a symbol that we haven't seen before. It looks a lot like the Magic the Gathering tap symbol. See how that turns out. Exert chosen opponent's character. Interesting. Exert, so you're making them do something. So she can make someone do something. Fair enough. Attack or defend or something like that. Recreated by magical ink, Elsa found herself in an unfamiliar new world. Fortunately, ice works the same way everywhere. And her 3 rose number yields us 1 dark pip. Interesting. I'm sure Elsa will be a fan favorite. Ooh. Cruella de Vil. You know, I know there's only so many villains. Cruella's never been one of my favorites. She looks kind of gross and scary, but not in like a villainous way, just in like a sad way. Her rose number is 2. Her name is Cruella de Vil, miserable as usual. So this is the first time, Brave Little Tailor sort of described Mickey's outfit, but miserable as usual seems out of place. Her attack and defense are 1 and 3. So she's doing a little better than Captain Hook here. Storyborn villain. Makes sense. And her ability is You'll Be Sorry. When this character is challenged and banished, you may return chosen character to your player's hand. Well, that's interesting, because a simplified reading of that was you could bring her back to your hand when she's been banished. But I think what's more interesting is player's hand, not necessarily your hand. So if you've got some big bruiser out there. Oh, sorry, it just went back into your hand. She's got one little pip, so, you're not getting much for your 2 rows up there. And when she stops by, misery is company is the flavor text. Oh boy, this one's a big one. Maleficent. So this is a big one. That top left number, the one that's been hovering between 8 and 1, is now up to 9. And Maleficent's not in her dashing human form, but in fact a monstrous dragon, as it says on the card. And she is very scary indeed. Purple, big wings, horns, and the glow in her mouth that that piercing green fire is about to come out. Her attack and defense is 7-5. So she's got Mickey beat in this one. But if that 9 is any indication, it's going to be well into the game before you can get this bruiser out. Storyborn, villain, dragon. The card reads Dragon Fire. When you play this character, you may banish chosen opposing character. Wow. So Cruella de Vil lets you pick a character up off the table and put it back in that player's hand. This big bruiser of Maleficent lets you just kick a player right off the board. Now, Mickey had 4 pips. Maleficent only has 2, which doesn't really seem fair for a casting cost of 9. The card reads, The 9th rule of villainy. When all else fails, turn into a dragon. For something a little more lighthearted, we've got Stitch. Stitch is coming in at a 6 in that top left number. And Stitch is in forearm mode in this. He's dressed up as a rock and roller. He's got a flying V guitar. He's got a microphone in one hand. He is on stage and he is loving it. The crowd's probably loving it too. The card reads Stitch, Rockstar. You get a 3-5 for attack and defense. He's Floodborn. Have we seen that one before? Hero and an alien. So any aliens are his kin. Now this is interesting. The card reads Shift 4. You may pay 4, and then there's a symbol that looks kind of like the hexagon rose shape. You may pay 4 of those to put this on one of your Stitch characters. Okay. Now, I wasn't so naive as to think that the only Mickey in the game was going to be Taylor Mickey. But it's interesting seeing so early on that different versions of characters will show up in different ways. One of his abilities is adoring fans. Whenever you play a character with cost 2 or less, you may exert it to draw a card. Okay. So if we play a low-level character, and then we exert it, we get to draw a card. When I first started playing Pokemon, I was really impressed with how often you get to draw cards and go into your deck versus, say, Magic the Gathering. It really completely changes the mode of play. So I'm wondering if that's going to be commonplace in this game. The card also reads, the best part about a beachside concert is there's always room for one more. I guess that go in the water. And for 6, you get 3 pips for Stitch. That pretty much wraps up what we know so far, what's been provided to us by Disney. But I think we can make a little conjecture about what's coming in the future. They haven't given us a release date, but it's got to be coming soon. It wouldn't surprise me if they leaked information over the next couple of months and then in May of next year had a big release party for their brand new game. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope that you'll join me here on Contemporary Inc. as we all find out together. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Goodbye.